G'day, Brad Scott here from The Naked Zombie. Now, if you like geek apparel, if you like cool, geek, nerdy, awesome collectible toys like bobbleheads from The Walking Dead, great t-shirts from Doctor Who, and all the fun stuff that makes us nerds unique, well then you need to go to Zombie Steve's. Now, you'll find them at www.zombiesteves.com.au.
Oh my lord.
You go there and you will find the best in what the geeks can get their hands on. I'm Brad Scott. I endorse this message.
Seriously.
It is time, once again, to lock your doors, shut your windows, strap yourself into your favorite comfy chair, and tune out and tune into The Naked Zombie.
G'day boys and girls, and welcome to a special night of The Naked Zombie. Yes, I have an announcement. We are actually going to be doing 5 nights a week. Well, we're going to trial it anyway and see how we go. It may turn into the biggest pile of poop under the sun, but it might also bring some joy and entertainment to the masses out there. And joining me for those episodes and taking more of a role as the interviewer is Liam. G'day, buddy. How are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. You're looking rather dapper as usual.
Excellent.
So, you've moved into the cardboard box.
I have.
Yes, so Liam's literally has moved into the cardboard box. So Liam's going to be joining us lots and lots and lots to get things happening with the show. Now, what we're doing tonight is I'm doing the first part with Liam, and then we've got a second part of the show happening tonight, which is Liam and Glen from Sydney. Now, these two boys are going to get together and do the second part of the show. Now, we're going to actually try and fill in 2 hours of what is awesomeness of The Naked Zombie, which happens to be the best in Australian paranormal pop culture radio. So, if you don't agree. So that's what we're going to do. So, Glenn's off to America.
He is. So he's on
got
a jet
a
plane and going on a big adventure.
A big adventure, right? And he's also interviewing for us over there. But we're going to let Glenn tell you about the story when Liam interviews him later on in the show. So, mate, listen, the other night I put up something regarding orbs. Are they a paranormal event? Why'd you look over your shoulder then for?
I don't know. I saw a flash then. It might have been an orb.
Look, I actually put it up that you believe they are dust, moisture, or particulates, which is everything has particulates in the air. Yep. It's just minute bugs, exoskeleton dust, all that type of stuff. And I still get emails from people who send me photos of orbs, and they claim they're a true paranormal event. Now, I'm very interested in this. We know orbs only come out when the digital camera came out.
Yeah,
back in the 70s. For
the most part, 99.9% of them came out with digital.
Yeah, that's right. But I've seen square orbs as well. You know, there could be a slight, lens change in the camera itself and produce the square orbs. But in saying that, and this is where it gets very interesting for us doing the show tonight, is so I put it out there on the Facebook fan site. They are going to have different things happen, right? We've got to have different photographs, different events, and there's always an orb in it. 99% there's an orb.
Yep.
And people's perception, and a lot of people's still perception is that they are a paranormal event. They are actually the newly formed spirit, or there's something else. Now, back in the 70s, when I think it was the 70s, about 74 to 76, I think the first digital camera came out.
Yeah, so we're going on a few years now.
And this is where photography in the paranormal took a whole new blast. Yeah, I mean, it took a whole new thing. So we're not just talking about orbs tonight, we're going to talk about photography in the paranormal, which has always been an interesting subject. And orbs have been a big extension of that. What's your view, man? Do you think they're paranormal, or do you think they're a dust particle?
Oh, I think, for the very most part, there are just a dust particle or, like you said, particulates in the air. And it seems to have been, since the advent of the easily accessible digital cameras have come on the market, it's photos of these orbs have absolutely skyrocketed too. So I remember, only 15 years ago using film, in an SLR camera, and you might see it once, that little dot once every 100 to 200 photos.
Yep.
But now all of a sudden you're getting almost like 100 to 200 orbs per photo. So
yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, I did an experiment a little while ago. Actually, I went out to, when I was in New Zealand, I went to this really, it was the oldest theatre in Nelson, right? You walked in there and you could taste the dust. It was that thick with dust. And because I'm running around taking random shots of me good digital SLR, and it was pointless because it was just dust everywhere. It was, you could, how dust gets that thick?
You can taste it on your tongue.
The ickiness of a dust particle, and you're chewing away on it, it's actually getting the grit in your teeth and stuff like that. So I found it interesting that when I took all these photos and everything like that, it came to that point. Dust everywhere. And if you believed that orbs are a paranormal event, I would have been in the most haunted place in the world.
Yeah, it would have been over the moon.
Literally, it was just covered.
Massive ghost photo success.
But this also comes to, okay, I got sent a photo a little while ago, and I've been around for a while, and so have you. And you ever seen those photos where they look like a little thing with a tail, but little spermies?
Yep.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going upwards.
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that, folks. We got a call. Hang on a tick. Hello, Brad speaking. Anyway, we're back. As you know, just heard the phone ring, so I had to stop recording. Just to let people know, and I don't broadcast this at all. You know that. You know my deep, dark little secret. On Thursday night, I will be doing a reading for an old client of mine that I gave a reading for a long time ago. She's been keen as mustard to come on and me do another one. I thought, well, listen, because I do it, but I don't at the same time. I don't push people, and it's not something I broadcast, to be honest, because it's something that's very personal. I mean, I have select clientele, and people are going, oh, no, Brad's one of them. He's a freak. Yeah, I am a freak. People can confirm that.
So, that's correct.
But I am a freak. Yeah, okay, deal with it. But I do it differently, I guess, to what most people do it, if you know what I mean. And I'm going to let Judy tell you her story when I first did it, and then we're going to actually do the reading for the show. I could totally stuff it and get it all wrong and have her say, Brad, you're full of crap. Don't give up your day job. Or I can do it that way. What do you think, Liam?
Sounds brilliant. It's very exciting. So,
Thursday night
show.
First time I'll be doing a reading from a client who rang me and said, look, I've been wanting to get back to you. Lots happened, yada, yada, yada. I said, well, don't give me too much. Don't give me any information whatsoever, but I'm going to organise it for Thursday night. She's coming over, and I'm going to see how it goes. I haven't done a reading for someone in 12 months. We'll get back onto the subject again in a minute with the photography and that. It's just brought up an interesting topic. I have always been very funny around psychics and mediums. You know that.
Yep.
You know, a lot of them, you just know they're full of shit.
Yeah.
I'm putting it bluntly, they are. And I'm not, and I don't like to, I'm broadcasting now all over the friggin' planet, which is really smart. But the point being is that I think, because I want to take the zombie into that next side of things, I think we'll make an interesting show.
Yeah, I think.
Look, I could get it totally wrong and really stuff up. Then people go, Brad, you're an idiot. But, I could also do it and do it well. You know what I mean? Which, this is the story, guys. About 12 months ago, I used to be quite avid, and I did a lot of reading for a lot of people. I had a certain clientele, and I would never be the one, you got to come and see me next week.
Yep.
I would always do it, when you're ready to. It got so busy for me, I actually literally had to stop doing it, because it does. It takes it out of me. It really does knock me out. That's a little text message now with her details, and Thursday. So Thursday, I've just got a confirmation now on my phone, so I'm not making this up as we go along. That Thursday night I will be putting myself out there as the radio host of The Naked Zombie, and to all my listeners. And, Judy, she's a friend of Tanya's. I actually did this. I'll tell you a quick story. It got to a stage I was actually getting hired to do parties. Oh, no, it sounds terrible. Oh, no, Brian, you're an idiot. Yeah, I think so too. And I was getting hired to do parties. Now, if you listen to episode 28 of The Naked Zombie, you would have noticed that I had my parents here. Look, we're all very much touched with the au-fait. And that's why I don't call it mediumship. I don't call it psychic. I call it au-fait. I'm very au fait. You know, I can tell, I don't know, I just read people really well. And I was got to the stage where I was constantly doing these events and parties, stuff like that, and it was really quite mind-blowing that my accuracy was pretty damn bloody good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I don't ask, and I literally had to do it then and there. There was no, but I'd do 10 in a day. So mentally I was just shattered.
Yeah,
at the end of it.
absolutely drained from it all.
Oh, absolutely drained beyond hope. So there you go, folks. That was just quickly to let you know that this Thursday night, the show, I'll actually have Judy on the show, and I'll be giving her a reading live on air. Like I said, I could stuff it, or I could actually say, hey, listen, I can do this without bullshitting somebody, because I hate bullshitters with a passion. And people who know me, I fight tooth and nail for that fact.
Yeah.
You know, you've known me for a long time, man. You know what I'm like.
I
If
do.
someone's bullshitting me, of medium or psychics bullshitting me, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know they're bullshitting me, and I will
Jump on them.
jump on them straight away. And it's calling the kettle black. I know that I do it myself, but I haven't done it for such a long time now. So it'll be interesting to see if I can still do it. It's been so long. I just try to avoid it. But
Very
there you
exciting.
go. Well, make an interesting show, to say the least.
So
won't it?
it's something new and interesting, and altogether different again. So.
Totally different. And look, I guarantee I'll make it absolute dork out of myself, but it'll be interesting what people's perception is. Anyway, so that's happening Thursday night. I'll be doing a live reading on the show, and we'll see how I go. Let's see if I can do it in front of somebody else and not one-on-one. And having you sitting here and you can vouch for that there was no information was given. You're a mate and everything, but you know what I'm like. I know what you're like. If you see any sort of shenanigans, you would open up and say something.
Yeah, no cards up the sleeves.
No, they'll be done. And look, I could get it wrong. But anyway, back to the subject we're talking. So that's a bit of exciting news for Thursday night.
Yeah,
so that's
very
gonna
exciting.
We're
for
doing
Thursday.
5 nights a week of The Naked Zombie. We're going to trial it and see how we go. We're trialing it. No guarantees we can do it, but we're going to give it a bloody good effort, because tomorrow night we're doing a special show in the Naked Zombie car.
We are.
We are taking it on the road. Tomorrow night we're going to be sitting in the car doing the show. It won't sound as good as this, but still we're going to do it.
We are.
We're going to try different things. We're going to go out and do different bits and pieces. So what was I talking about before my ego got the best of me?
We're on Orbs.
Orbs
Digital
and for the
photography.
So I'm very curious to see what people's perception of... Look, I posted... I do get a lot of photos of orbs and stuff, and unfortunately my comments don't always please everyone. My belief is, and this is my belief, they're dust. There's nothing paranormal about them whatsoever. I believe there is nothing to them except for what they are is just tiny particulates in the air. Your viewpoint on that, mate, because I won't rudely interrupt it with the phone ringing.
I think it's, you're spot on. And I think we're talking about the little orbs with the little tails as well. Being water droplets, and I mean, there's so many places with dust and pollen and God knows what else. And I think to be able to be taken seriously as far as doing photography goes, if there's a million other things that it could very possibly be, then you've pretty much got to exclude it, as being any kind of paranormal event or paranormal anomaly, because there's so many other things out there that are so easily mistaken. So I think you need to, if you can't put your finger on it, you need to just discredit it and throw it out.
Yep, that's it. I think we need to start discrediting a lot of the paranormal photography in general. Like, I posted one the other night, and I don't care if I'm not sure on something. I'd rather post it and say, I don't know what this is. It could be just a shadow cast against the wall through something else, or it could be something else, because I'm getting older now. My eyesight isn't what it used to be. No matter how much I blow it up on the computer, I still have that doubt. I am not an expert when it comes to paranormal photography, right? I am not a photographer, right? I am a dweeb when it comes to that sort of stuff. So I understand what pareidolia is.
Yeah.
I understand matrixing. I understand that the human mind will take an image and try to turn it into something that's recognizable.
Yeah.
Like 99% of the planet out there will do. So if I have a photo that I'm unsure about, and I've taken the photo personally myself, I will put it up and say, guys, what do you think? Give me some feedback. Now, I guess by me doing it that way, I'm saying, hey, look, I don't know really what this is.
Yeah, you've got no idea what it is.
Can you guys give me a hand?
Else
I'm not saying, oh, look at this. This is an awesome paranormal photo. I'm getting all excited now. Awesomest paranormal photo in the world. This is just mind-blowing. You'll never find... No, I'm saying I have no idea.
Yeah. And I mean, and it does with orbs, it happens so easily. I mean, I know from nights that we've done moonlight tours at South Brisbane Cemetery, and you can, the second you get into the cemetery, you can smell that sweet smell on the air because you know that there's a lot of pollen and stuff around.
Yes, that's right.
And guaranteed, you think tonight's going to be an awesome orb night, and sure enough, you know, people with their cameras, oh, you know, look, we've got spots on the, you know, spots on our photographs, and yeah, I mean, even we did St Helena Island, did an investigation over there on Halloween last year, and you know, you could just, like you were saying, you can taste the dust in there, and you know, you'd take a photograph and the flash would light the room up, and it was like someone had thrown a handful of glitter, you know, up in the air, because you just see all the dust sparkle, you know, that was being kicked up. And sure enough, you have a look at the photos, and you know, they're full of these little glowing orbs. But
yeah, but you notice I've seen quite a few, and a lot of them actually have faces in them. Well, my brain is telling me there's a face in there.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah, you get that sort of, you can sort of look at it and getting very, you know what I'm like with my hands, I'm very, very theatrical. Yeah. So, you know, in that type of thing where I'm looking at something that's quite, going, wow, look, I can see how people can see that.
yeah,
But it's when I have people say to me, oh, Brad, this is an actual spirit, yada, yada, yada. This is what it is. There's no two ways about it. Sometimes that can be a little bit worse than a skeptic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're closed off to it.
Well, it's sort of like reverse skepticism.
Skepticism. It is reverse skepticism. Like you just solely whole believe what you have. It's good to have a little bit of skepticism. That's why when I post a photo of a shot that I think may have something, I always say, what do you guys think? It's not saying, I don't state, oh, this is a paranormal photo. No, I never do that.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you think? I think that may solve a lot of problems with people being mean and just downright wankers about it.
Yeah, being blunt and not being constructive in any way, but just being downright
because fine. Tell me what you think. I'm more than happy with that. Yeah, tell me what you think. I want to hear what you think because I may learn something.
Yeah.
Or you may learn something.
That's what the whole field's about too, is kicking ideas back and forward, and everybody sharing their experiences and sharing what does and doesn't work out there, and that's how we all learn. So
that is correct. Well, anyway, so that was our little rant for the first part of the show tonight. I just wanted to touch on that quickly before we kick off with the interview that you were doing with Glenn.
Glenn.
Lovely Glenn. Isn't Glenn lovely? So don't forget, big things are happening because I'm about to disembark and leave the studio, the cardboard box.
Running away.
Running away. So I'm going to let Glenn and Liam, the two eye candies of the paranormal field.
Oh, you're too kind.
Yeah, stop it. It's my beard that just makes me look awesome. So don't forget, great shows coming up this week. If you have any shows ideas, please let us know. We're going to try to do 5 shows a night. And if we can get longer than an hour, we can get up to 2, we'll try. But that's the beauty of running the zombie. We're going to give it a go. We're going to see how it works for us.
Yeah.
If we're fine, we're so knackered and stuff from doing other things that we can't do, we won't. But we want to hear your ideas. We want you to get in contact with us. We want you, the Naked Zombie Army, to tell your friends about the show.
Yeah. Just spread the word far and wide.
Get people
on
the...
and get everybody enthused.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing it for you guys. The show is for you guys. It's we make nothing out of it. We love talking about the subject, and we hope you enjoy listening to it. You know? But this thing, we want to try different things with the show and get more of a response out from you. And tell your friends about the Facebook fan site, because we post a lot of interesting stuff up there. With Fridays is Mr. Dixon's
It's Conspiracy Fridays.
Conspiracy
Fantastic
Fridays.
articles have been going on.
We took, like the other night, Saturday night, we took David and Emma Snow to Slaughter Falls, 2 fans of the show, rung them out of the blue and said, guys, what are you doing? We're going here.
Them out into the bush. And
Took them out to the bush, and we got some great photos. You've probably seen there. But, and that's what we're trying to do, is be more involved with everybody and get everyone to have a bit of a say. So don't forget that this Thursday night, yours truly will be getting back into putting his old shoes back on and doing a reading on air.
Fantastic.
And if I stuff it up, I stuff it up. And I'm not scared to do that. I'm not scared to say I make mistakes. I do a lot of mistakes. But there you go, Thursday night. So we've got other shows during this week. So I'm going to let Liam now, because, what's that? Glenn's waiting in the wings. I'm going to disappear, and please sit back and enjoy the second half of tonight's show. Liam and Glenn talking about all the mischief he's going to get up to and going to America.
And we're back with the second part of tonight's show, and we're joined by Glenn. How are you tonight, Glenn?
Yes, start of June, I officially leave for the US and Canada for about 2.5, nearly 3 weeks. So yeah, just trying to get my finger in as many pies as possible over there and see how far we can expand the industry back here.
Excellent. So, and big plans, while you're over in America and Canada?
Yeah, I've got a couple of big interviews teed up. One of them is Hollywood Ghost Hunters. These guys were, when you automatically think of classic American horror movies, you go straight to the classics. So, Freddy Krueger, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Hellraiser, stuff like that.
Yeah, all the cult classics.
All the cult classics. These are guys that made me shit my pants when I was a kid watching them at 10 o'clock at night when the parents were in bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And members of Hollywood Ghost Hunters, these are guys that actually appeared in the movies. Like, you've got R.A. Millerhoff. He actually played the original Leatherface.
Yeah.
Anyone who's seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that face of the chainsaw and the butcher's apron, it haunts them even now. They still remember and get goosebumps. And hopefully I get the chance to actually meet these guys face to face. I mean, they've locked in for an interview, so we're just going to tee up some dates. But that should be a really big one for me.
Yeah, so I think the last I saw of them was quite a few seasons ago on Ghost Adventures. I think they did a cameo on there. So which is a fantastic episode. It's good to see them out and about and sort of doing the real life investigating now. Given that they've been in the cult classic movies as well. So
well, it's good to see the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah. No, so that'll be fantastic for you.
I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, hopefully it should be a big eye-opener. I mean, especially seeing how some of the American teams work. I mean, I've got those guys set up for an interview. I've got a couple more teams, sort of West California in towards Vegas, and a couple of teams in Canada that I'll be talking to as well, and hopefully go along to a few investigations.
Yep, excellent. So, do you have any investigations lined up at all yet, or are you going to work on that when you get overseas?
To be honest, I like to play it by ear. I don't like to sort of go into a place knowing its history or anything. I just like to go in and feel it out and then get all the gory details afterwards.
Yeah, excellent. So, just hit the ground running.
Pretty well, yeah. I think it's just the best way. I mean, you don't go in with any preconceived thoughts or suggested notions or anything like that. It's just go for it and run and see what you get.
I love you, Glenn.
Daddy?
So, he's snuck into the room and he's out of the cardboard box again now. The small Brad cameo.
It sounds like my old Catholic priest.
Oh yeah, we're being heckled from the sideline.
Boo, get off.
Yeah.
Someone raising my old Catholic priest.
What was that? Sorry.
For some reason, he sounds like my old Catholic priest.
Like a Catholic priest. Oh.
Yeah.
No, I can just imagine him in his robes and his special hat. So
That explains the part.
I was going to say the pants are coming off now, so yeah, definitely.
Yep, that's Father O'Malley.
Yeah. So, the pants are off. Look at that. It's fantastic for radio.
He's got a body for radio.
Yeah, he does. So, fantastic body for radio. A glorious beard as well, so... No, so getting back to over to your trip in America, that's it's sounding like it's going to be absolutely amazing because the American market does it so much different to the way that things are done in Australia as well. So I guess it's going to be a bit of an eye opener to see how those guys do things over there, and the kind of sites and history that they have access, ready access to that we definitely don't. Their history goes back so much further than ours. So
yeah, personally, I think it's going to be a very, very big eye opener. I mean, it's one thing to work with different teams and see how they operate, but I think it's something totally different to work with a team in a totally different country.
Yep.
Especially with, as you said, like a different history line that we do. I mean, we're only fairly young, but I mean, going back with those guys, they're different techniques, different history. I mean, even different methods, like different trigger objects and things like that. I mean, I think it's just going to be one big learning curve.
Yep.
But what I've tried to do is, we originally had this holiday planned, myself and my best mate, and there was nothing paranormal remotely anywhere near it. We were going over for the Ink and Iron Festival, so it's the world's largest tattoos, bikes, and custom car show. And
okay. Yeah, so something completely removed.
So yeah, ghosts were nowhere near this thing. Then when Brad put me onto the zombie, but shit, okay, what am I going to do to fill in a couple episodes? Christ. So I thought, let's try and combine it. So we've tried to add in teams and experiments and locations around things that we were doing anyway, just to try and give it a nice big well-rounded tour. And so far, it's surprisingly how well everything's just dropped into place.
Yeah, no, it sounds like everyone's been really accommodating, and you've got some great stuff lined up. So it's going to be fantastic to hear those when they finally start coming through.
I can't. To be brutally honest, I can't wait for the Canada League. I reckon that's going to be awesome.
Well, that's like a whole new sort of different history again, to Australia and America. So sort of new conditions, and I mean, especially being up in the northern hemisphere as well. So you've got a lot of environmental conditions that you don't contend with in Australia. So
I was thinking of being stuck in a location and having like a group of Canadians pull out like maple syrup coffee or like moose pancakes or something like that, just to lighten the mood.
No, something completely different. So and contending with all the local wildlife up that way as well. So
it should be fun. It's gonna be something totally different for myself, and you gotta do it while you're young, unfortunately.
Yep.
Hello.
I lost you there for a bit. No, we're back.
Yeah, you just seem to fade right out.
Yeah, but no. So that's fantastic. So what else have you been getting up to down south over the last little while? So any investigations that you've managed to slot in, or?
Actually, it's been pretty full on. The last time I was on the zombie, as I mentioned to Brad last time, I've joined a team down here called API, Australian Paranormal Phenomena Investigators.
Yep.
And I mean, look, going into a team aspect, it's especially with the group of guys and girls that are in API, it's just a big, big change for me. Especially coming from like the whole loner side of thing.
Yeah. So completely different dynamic and.
I mean, like, the team aspect, these guys are phenomenal. I mean, like my role in the team is audio and visual tech manager and analyst. So we've got some of the ideas that's been coming out of the team lately, especially what they do on tours and investigations and stuff like that. It's been a real sort of eye-opener and challenge for me, because you do get used to working in your own little comfort zone. And once a new idea has emerged, you try and adapt to it and then try and learn how this thing works.
Yep.
And evolve around that. It's a bit of a different aspect, and just using different little tools and equipment and triggers and stuff like that, and just trying to think differently, especially being in a team environment, because now it's not one person. You're dealing with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different mentalities.
Yeah, so working in that group environment, and having to play your part that slots into the greater picture rather than doing trying to do a million and one things yourself. So,
but it's been good. It's been fun. But and one of the things we've been playing around with is some of the new. Actually, one we've been playing with was one that actually Adam, who's the experimental tech manager of the group, came up with. He's found a little bit of research. One was actually using the Xbox Kinect as a visual aid.
So just using the camera on that as a visual.
Yeah, well, have you guys used it at all?
No, I've never used it. I have heard people who have given it a little bit of a run with the camera. Because I think, am I right? Is it sort of picks up infrared, that kind of thing?
No. Yeah, well, the long and short of it, what it does is it actually produces an infrared laser grid. And when this projects back out, the twin cameras actually pick up the image itself, relay those grid images back to the processor, and then goes back to the screen, and it actually tracks live movement.
Wow! So you're almost setting up yourself like a live motion detector at the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had actually just the weekend past. We had, I don't know if you guys get this show up there. It's called Sydney Weekender.
I think
with Mike Whitney as host.
Yeah, I think we do on the very rough occasion. It might almost go to air at about midnight, I think, on some nights.
The 2 a.m. repeats.
Yeah, that's the one.
But we actually had Mike come down and do a big section on the Casula Powerhouse, one of the tours that the girls run down here. And we had the Kinect set up. And it was right at the very end of the night when everyone's breaking down all the gear and packing up. And where the Kinect was actually set up, there's a figure sitting in one of the chairs on the very front row of the theatre. Now, this is part of the footage that, funnily enough, this is part of the footage that no one was recording at the time, but there was more than enough people to actually verify this.
Okay,
this little figure sitting in the chair, and when we looked at a rough height comparison...
Hello, you there?
Yes, sorry, it just broke up there.
Yeah, we're dropping in and out here. So you noticed a number of people noticed a little figure sitting in the front chair in the theatre there. So are there any stories to go along with that, or is that something that a number of people have seen over a period of time, or?
Well, one of the most common spirits that's seen at the Casula Powerhouse is actually the spirit of a little girl that starts running around. We've had a couple of people in the team have actually seen her as a full-body apparition. Staff have seen her at the Casula Powerhouse, and she has been seen. She was actually seen to an audience full of people. And I think they were doing a rendition of Johnny O'Keefe down on the front stage. She'd actually come out and walked on stage. Like a theatre full of people actually saw this little girl wander out and wander back.
Wow, so it doesn't.
And she's one of the most common ones that they find.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. That it's one of the regularly seen things that popped up while you were there doing that shoot.
It was even just having the team there, and they were chewing through batteries like there was no tomorrow. I think throughout the course of the night, they were going through roughly about a battery an hour just to power the cameras and lights and stuff like that, and that usually doesn't happen.
Yep.
The last time they had something like that happen where their equipment was just going through batteries was the Monte Cristo in Junee, apparently Australia's most haunted homestead.
Yep. So that usual haunted atmosphere that feeds off batteries. I remember I did an investigation many years ago now, and that was being filmed by, I think it was Getaway or Great Outdoors at the time. And we had a camera crew that would almost identical to that. We're going through battery packs that they were assuring us should last 12 to 15 hours, and chewing through them in 3/4 of an hour to an hour. So always really interesting when that starts happening. We had an entire camera crew and sound crew that were completely dumbfounded by this apparent lack of battery power.
Dude, I love when stuff like that happens. The night's just starting.
Yeah. So that's it, and it's always amazing to have things like that happen when you're out and about too, because it's yet another one of those things that you can add to the long list of experiences that you have on a night that are completely unexplainable, and regardless of how you look at it, there doesn't seem to be any logical explanation on why it's happening.
Right, I mean, it's one thing that we all sort of strive for, especially being investigators. If nothing happens, then I'll be happy if my torch drains batteries all night.
Yep. So that's it, and even if you come away and you've got no EVPs and no photos, you can still always chalk that one up as being, a truly unexplained thing that happened on the night, and obviously there's got to be some, something behind it, something that's drawing that power, the battery power.
Yeah, that's all part of the fun.
Yeah, it is.
As long as there's no orbs, I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, we've started tonight's episode off having a chat about orbs. So we're talking about whether or not orbs are a paranormal phenomena, or whether they're more a phenomena to do with particulates in the air and dust particles. So, what would you say? What are your feelings on orbs?
I mean, for me, I have very little to no time for orb photos. For me, there's just too many variables for what they can and can't be.
Yep.
So I just sort of push that one off to the side a little bit, unless there's a full body apparition standing in front of me, giving me the finger. In a photograph, if someone comes up and says, "Look at this, look at this glowing little dot in the middle of the hallway that we've just walked down."
Yep.
Yeah. I really couldn't be bothered. I'd rather be sitting there looking at the DVR screen, or actually sitting in a dark room and trying to experience it myself.
Yeah, and
rather than looking.
Yeah, pretty much. How we were talking too. There's so many variables with dust and moisture and insects flying past cameras, and unfortunately, if 99.999% of it can be explained away with dust and moisture and whatnot, then you pretty much just got to cut it loose. You can't put it out there as being dyed-in-the-wool evidence of anything.
Yeah, admittedly, having orbs and the dragon tails and stuff like that going through photos, there is that little bit of what if, and back to that 99.999 recurring field comes in. That little 0.00001% could actually be something unexplained, but you've got, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck,
yep,
there's a good chance it's a duck. Yep.
That's precisely it. So just too many things out there that resemble identically what are supposedly orbs. And I was saying, I do a lot of the tours up here as well in the cemetery, and you can always tell when there's going to be it's going to be a good orb night, and you can always seem to pick the people in the group as well as being the dyed-in-the-wool orb hunters. And the second you get into the cemetery and you get that sweet smell like on the air, and the flying foxes are in the trees and the pollen's starting to fall, and guaranteed you just digital snap after digital snap. And especially people now, digital photography being so easy with new smartphones and iPhones and iPads, people are just snapping away, and there's dozens of orbs in every photo, but it's always seems to be very hard to the real dyed-in-the-wool orb hunters to try and explain to them that it's it's probably not really what they think it is. It's more likely dust or moisture or pollen in the air.
Yeah, one thing I prefer is, if someone's going to show me a photo, rather than breaking out, a $700 digital camera or a $2,000 SLR and saying, "Look at these orbs that I bought on the latest and greatest camera," give me an old Polaroid or an old film type camera and show me those.
Yeah,
the analog stuff is so much harder to try and, like the old analog stuff, like the old the old film roll cameras. They're so much harder to try and get evidence on. But when you've got it, usually it's something fairly legitimate that's sitting there. It's not just a reflection of, because it just takes so much more effort to process.
Yeah,
and they're not being shot in such high resolution.
You know, many times when I was using old film cameras too, you know, you could go 100 or 200 photos, and you might have that one thing that looked like an orb in 100 or 200 photos. Whereas nowadays with the digital cameras, it seems to be every photo and, you know, multiple orbs in each photo.
Mm. Or someone smoking or breathing.
Yeah, that's precisely right too. Always take care of not breathing heavily in the middle of a photograph when it's 10 degrees outside.
But this is why I prefer to stick with EVPs and audio anomalies.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. If you've got a very clear voice on, you know, a digital recorder, it's clearly saying a phrase. It's a little harder to debunk than, you know, a little spot of light, like you said, in the middle of a hallway that you've just walked down in a dusty old building.
Well, man, that and also, I mean, having an EVP, especially using a little bit older voice recorder, it is a little bit harder to try and contaminate the evidence, I guess you'd say, because if everything's working in your favour, where it's a nice quiet room, everyone's shut up and nothing's happening, and all of a sudden you start getting anomalies on the top of your recording.
Yep.
Yeah. The average digital recorder doesn't have a receiver, so it can't pick up any form of AM or FM frequency. It's purely picking up what's in front of it. And I've started playing with a few different ranges of microphones on the last? Yeah, it was actually the last venture out that we had to a location here in Sydney. And some of the results that we were getting were just insane. I mean, nothing that we can put out there just yet, but it's a combination. We actually had Brad's mate Ashley up here from South Australia from Paranormal Guide. And he was around playing in some of these locations with us. But I mean, it's all just a matter of just trying to get the gear sorted and just trying to debunk as much of it as possible. But thinking back to the original question, as long as it's not an orb or anything like that, I mean, really, I'm happy. If there's not a great deal of variables for a particular bit of evidence, and you know, I'm happy to look at it.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, once you've removed any other possibilities that, you know, it could likely be, and you end up, you know, I've heard so many people say that, you know, once you've removed all other possibilities and you're at a point where you cannot explain it, well, that's when it starts to get really interesting.
Mm-hmm. But you mentioned that you do tours up there. I mean, whereabouts do you host your tours?
We've got a big cemetery just in the south side of the river from the Brisbane CBD, because South Brisbane Cemetery, or a lot of people call it Dutton Park. So I do tours through there now, or every fortnight. So it's really, really fantastic, and it's sort of coming into winter now as well. So, you know, it always seems to make the cemetery a lot stiller. So it makes, you know, any extraneous noises in the cemetery is a lot easier to pick up, which is great, you know, absolutely great. So. But yeah, you know, constantly sort of getting people seeing flits and bits and pieces in between headstones, and you know, like anywhere, you know, some nights you could do, you know, 2 or 3 tours and no one would see anything, but you know, then you'll have the one tour where, you know, somebody will see, you know, almost like a full body walk behind one of the toilet blocks, or you know, put the wind up a few people.
It's just Brad lurking around the public toilet blocks.
Yeah. Skulking around in the darkness, waiting.
In his George Michael costume.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it's you know, always good to get out, and you know, it's a good opportunity to get into the cemetery. And I know a lot of people, you know, essentially poo-poo cemeteries as being sort of haunted hotspots, or you know, areas where there are going to be spirits, given that it's, you know, there's no real reason why any spirit would be hanging around cemeteries. But yeah, I mean, from time to time, you always get sort of the weird and unexplainable things that go on there as well that, you know, defy description. So, you know, I think...
Well, cemetery is the only place you're guaranteed to find the dead.
Yep. Well, that's it. And, you know, like we've talked about in previous episodes too, the number of suicides that have occurred in Brisbane cemeteries is phenomenal as well. It's sort of... you know, not just sort of the burial place for Brisbane's dead, but yeah, quite a number of people have taken their lives in a lot of the cemeteries around Brisbane too, on graves of loved ones. And you know,
why is that? Why is that cemetery just a hotspot for suicides?
I have no idea. We've got the two largest cemeteries that we've got in Brisbane, in Toowong and South Brisbane, seem to have quite a murky history going back 100 plus years of people killing themselves, and not in the most pleasant of manners either. I mean, sort of through the 1920s and 30s as well. Plenty of people going and getting rat poison and melting it down and making sort of strychnine and arsenic drinks to take to the cemetery and do themselves in. And I mean, for anyone who understands strychnine or arsenic, it's not the nicest way to go either. So, yeah, you'd sort of think that people I guess it appears easy at the time, but it's it's got horrible consequences once you take those poisons.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, so and there's quite a number of patches in history there where it's almost suicide every 2 or 3 weeks, for months and months running. So as to why it would be such a suicide hotspot, I have no idea. But the cemeteries in Brisbane definitely seem to pull them.
Oh, okay. Oh, I suppose so. You'll go where you want to.
Yeah, that's it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, sorry, you just went really crackly then and faded right out.
No, you're back in again. Yeah, sort of. We're coming and going tonight, so Skype's not playing fair like it normally does.
It's Brad's copious amounts of porn that he loads.
I think it is. He's overloading the router. He's looking at other things in the other room.
He's on it now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, watching the steam come off the router. I have to turn the fan on and try and cool it down a little.
That's why he wears glasses. He's going blind.
Yeah. Yeah, I lost you again. No, it's a horrible line.
Hello?
Hello, you there? Yep, I've got you.
Yeah, there's a serious amount of static coming through.
Yep, so no, we're coming and going. So I was going to say, what's...
The joys of technology.
Yeah, that's right. So I was going to say, I think we've been going for about 40 minutes now anyway, so given that it's such a shonky line at the moment, what we might do is we might finish it up for tonight, and short of it, getting more staticky and more laggy, and...
Yeah, cool. Well, it's Brad. What's he doing?
What's he doing? I have no idea. He's escaped again, so he's popped off. He could be anywhere.
He's just left you at the helm.
He has. So he's bailed on me, run away, and as Skype slowly crashes into the ground.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, when are you guys going to come down to New South Wales again? Well, Brad, you're more than welcome to come down as well, obviously.
Yeah, so hopefully soon. So I had the opportunity to come down to New South Wales for a couple of weeks, only a little while ago. But yeah, unfortunately with work, I didn't get nearly the amount of time that I would have liked to have gotten out amongst everything and checked out the full sights of Sydney. So yeah, but definitely I think it should be on the books that we'll head down that way at some stage shortly, and yeah, with a good amount of time under our belts to check everything out and go and see the sights. And
nice. Well, there's actually one site that I got to check out during the off season was the mining town of Glen Davis, just out in central New South Wales.
Yeah.
Interesting place. Very, very interesting place. It was. I mean, originally it was an old mine that was set up. And copious deaths. All your typical sort of nasty, gruesome ways to go. After the mine shut down, the place was pretty much decommissioned as a town. It was only recommissioned in, I think it was like 2001, 2002, and reinstated as an actual township.
Wow, so it just spent quite some time just being a ghost town and getting overgrown and no one going there.
Yeah, it's you go there now and there's really nothing there. But if you guys come down, I mean, look, that's one place I definitely want to take Brad and yourself to go and check. I mean, even just the aesthetics of it, it looks like something out of a zombie movie. You start walking through the ruins, and you just keep waiting for the hordes of the undead to start mounting over the cliffs and
fantastic.
peeking out. Oh, it's awesome.
One of those really old, ragged ghost towns.
Oh yeah, I mean, even just going through photos, wow, and that's definitely impressive. But that's definitely as well. Happy have on.
Yep.
So there's Casilla Powerhouse. Brad's already been there. There's also it's opened up, but underneath the front steps that leads into the main building of the TAFE is the old morgue. It was originally an old hospital.
Okay, so it's got its own morgue and everything in there. That's fantastic. So yeah, so when I was down, I was mostly around Parramatta. So yeah, amazing history and buildings and whatnot around there as well. So yeah, which is always fun. You know, I guess being up in Brisbane too, we don't get much of an opportunity to come down and check places out. But fantastic walk through Parramatta and see like the old Roxy Theatre and. You know, which just sort of was walking past, stumbled past, and it was like, wow, it's the Roxy Theatre, and you know, sort of all those fantastic Sydney sites that you see, you know, other groups investigating, but don't actually get the opportunity to do yourself because you're 1,000 kilometres away. Yeah. So I definitely, we should be on the cards. We should pop down sometime shortly and get in amongst it and check out some of the sites down south.
Well, if you guys pop down, I mean, you're guaranteed somewhere to stay. I mean, my door's always open and. Locations to check out. I mean, I know you guys from Appy would be more than happy to accommodate you guys for a couple of days.
No, excellent. So it'd be fantastic to get out and see how you guys do it, and what fantastic sites you've got to play with.
No worries. Well, I'll let you go for the night. It's starting to get a little bit late, and
yep. And Skype's in and out. So.
Yeah, I'm about to treat Skype like a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah. No, good
beat
smack
it mercilessly, then throw it into a corner.
That's it. It's good smack upside the head.
My apologies to anyone who has a redheaded stepchild.
Yep.
Hello?
Yep, you're back again. So you dropped.
Yeah. Wow, this thing hates us.
It is. It's horrible tonight.
All right, Liam, I'll let you go, mate, before this thing drops out any further.
Okay, not a problem at all. I shall catch you later, and thank you for letting us know what you're doing.
Not a problem. Honey. Hopefully you get what you want out of this interview in between the breaks and the pauses and the static and all sorts of weird and wonderful things this guy's been doing.
That's it.
All right, mate. Talk to you later.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brad's here if you want to say a quick goodbye. You give him a kiss goodnight.
Oh, Brad. Unky Brad.
I shall pop him on.
Thanks for joining us tonight, old mate.
Not a problem. Thank you very much, Father Mel.
No worries, buddy. Listen, have a great night. And listen, thank you everyone to tune in to The Naked Zombie. No doubt you'll be hearing more from the boys in the near future with their crazy antics. Oh, they've got something going on. I don't know. Must be a bit of Brokeback Mountain thing happening. But thanks again, brother, and I'll speak to you later.
Not a problem, mate. I'll talk to you later.
See you, mate. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.